I wanted to dislike Atelier Auguste because they give all their bags for free to influencers. But you know what? I can't. But after a price increase, do I think these bags are worth $600 or more? Let's find out. And hi, if you're new here, my name is Elaine, and on my channel, I like to talk about bags from mid-range to vintage luxury. And today we're going to be doing a review of this Atelier Auguste Sully bag. And no, I did not buy this bag, but no, I was not given it for free. I'm actually borrowing this bag from Sam of Bargain Hunting Blonde. So thank you, Sam, for allowing me to try out your bag and to review it here. We were able to do a little bit of a trade. So I have this and a Ralph Lauren polo bag for about a month, and she has my Toolbox 26 for a month, along with a Picotin third-party strap. It's kind of a great way to try out new bags or new accessories without actually paying for it. So I do have a lot of bags in my collection, but so does Sam. So, it kind of makes sense for us to try out bags that we don't have without committing to buying them and keeping them or maintaining them. So anyways, thanks again, Sam. Now I can do this review with sort of no strings attached, in a sense. Like, I wasn't given it for free, but I didn't have to pay for it. If I don't say good things about it, nothing's gonna happen. But like I said in my intro, I can't. All right, so first off, gotta say construction is very good. Leather choice is also very nice. So this is, they call it box leather. It is box leather, but it doesn't look like Hermes box leather, to be honest, which I'll do a quick comparison here since I have this is my Kelly 28 in navy box leather from 2001. I would say the Hermes box is a little bit more shiny, but the Atelier Auguste box leather is a little more grained. And actually the look of this box leather really reminds me of the box leather that Celine used, at least for the Phoebe Philo Celine era classic box bag in box leather. This is what it looked like, where it has a little bit of a grain. I do think box leather can scratch a little bit easier than other smooth leathers, and depends how you treat it, of course. But when I got this bag, I have to say Sam from Bargain Hunting Blonde is really good with her bag. She keeps it as if it's brand new. All the stuffing, all the tags, even the Ralph Lauren polo bag that I borrowed still had like the cardboard inserts and stuff. And like, I'm really bad at that. Like, I'll just throw it away because I'm like, oh, it's trash. But I think I've learned a couple of lessons from Sam here, and it's actually a really good idea to be able to keep all of that together. Honestly, if she ever does a blog sale of her bags, I do think, she keeps it in pristine condition. So yeah, definitely worth it. But anyway, so yeah, this looks brand new. I used it once. I'm actually very careful about it because like I got it in such great condition. I would hate to get a scratch on it. So I've been really, really careful. But also, I guess, in terms of hardware, so the hardware here is what I've heard scratches the most. I did find a picture on Reddit, and I'll show here, that shows what it kind of looks like with the scratches. It's fairly noticeable. It's sort of part of the deal, I guess. Even Hermes, the H on a Constance will scratch. It's not like luxury ones are way better. And I think this is like top quality standard hardware procedure is to have stainless steel and a PVD coating on top, which I do remember Tanner Leatherstein talking about. Hardware is usually one of the more expensive items on a bag, especially good quality hardware is going to be a little bit more. So this is pretty much top of the line for a mid-range bag. Of course, they're not going to be coating it in gold. So, PVD over stainless steel. It's pretty standard. So anyways, that is construction. Stitching wise is very nice. All these bags are made in Italy. I know you probably heard all of this before because Atelier Auguste is so prevalent in the bag tube community. They do give a lot of bags for free. They're a Parisian brand started by two brothers. All their bags are made in Italy, designed in Paris. And then here is a magnetic closure. And inside is a cotton twill, pretty standard. Kind of reminds me of like a Mansur Gabrielle kind of thing. And then there is a flat pocket here. This magnet's quite strong and it's quite weighty too. So I mean, I think most of the weight from this bag, or a lot of it, is from this clasp. I haven't watched Sam's review of this yet because I didn't want it to sort of affect my own. You know, I don't want to start sounding like a parrot. So I will watch it right after I film this, and I will link it down below so you can also see her take on it. But this was, I think, gifted to her about 3 years ago, maybe 2.5. Don't know how often she used this bag, but honestly, it looks brand new. As for the crossbody strap, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 holes. She kind of has it on this mid-length. She is a bit taller than me. I think she's like 5'7", 5'8". I'll do some mod shots here, but I'm 5'4". I'm going to keep it on the same length and just see how that looks. I also know Tanner Leatherstein, I think, did a dissection of a Atelier Auguste bag. So I'll link that down below as well. But also, I think he said it was great, very good. And for the price point at that time, I think he called it a good deal. The price did increase since then. I'm not quite sure when, but as of 2026, I think this is $625. I would say most of their bags are over $600. It's definitely pushing the limits of mid-range. I think when they first came out, they were a under $500 option. I did a little bit of research, and a lot of the YouTube videos that I saw were like, you know, great bags under 500. So unfortunately, as of 2026, that no longer applies. And in terms of current 2026 quality, the only issue I saw was with the red croc embossed bags. As of less than a month ago, there was a Reddit post about how there was like glue residue on the bags, the stitching was uneven. And then a lot of people piled on, was like, oh, Atelier Auguste is going down, like their quality is getting worse and blah, blah, blah. But interesting enough, one of the founders, I think one of the brothers, responded and said, you know, they made the call to release these bags, and in hindsight, it was a mistake. So I wouldn't say all their bags have gone down in quality or anything like that. I do think maybe that line of bags from a particular manufacturer did not come out optimal. And, you know, they made the call to release it when unfortunately they probably should have not. But I mean, I get it. You know, you spend a bunch of money making these bags. Now that the quality's not there, what are you going to do? I would say take that with a grain of salt. I have not seen any other like negative reviews about the other lines or the other bags. You know, a lot of people say good things, you know, and I would say for good reason. And if you're still watching, I kindly ask that you consider subscribing. This video today was actually voted upon by my subscribers in a poll that I did here. And as you can see, Atelier Auguste won by a landslide. So if you would like a bag that you're interested in reviewed here, please consider subscribing and send me your suggestions, and I'll be doing another poll soon asking which mid-range bag I should review next. All right, next, what fits and weight. So this is the Sully, not the mini Sully bag. This is my current daily carry. It is the Machino Boston bag in the PM size. So let's see, my wallet. I'm actually really careful opening this because I would hate to scratch. Not to say that my fingernails are long, but I would hate to scratch this part because it is such a pristine bag. But anyways, wallet, mom pouch, sunglasses, hand sanitizer, and that pretty much fills it. So that is quite full. I guess you could put like a front pockets for like parking valet tickets or, you know, parking garage tickets. Yeah, now that I have stuff in here, I'm kind of looking at it. The edging, I mean, the edging's all right. It's a little bit more, I mean, it's definitely not, I wouldn't say it's luxury level of edging. I would say it's definitely mid-range. I also noticed that as I open this back flap here, when I put stuff in, I do notice some wrinkling, and of course it is a stress point. So I don't know how that's gonna age, but unfortunately, I won't be able to answer that question. So if anyone has experience with Atelier Auguste, you know, sort of wear and tear, I would love it if you could just pop it down below, you know, sort of your experience with Atelier Auguste. I'm very curious to see how this bag ages. But anyways, as you can see, it only fits the essentials. I have my wallet mini pouch, sunglasses, and hand sanitizer. Could I fit my phone? No. So I would take out the mom pouch and I put the phone in. Yikes. Maybe I need to put it in the middle. Granted, I have this huge compact wallet. Oxymoron, it's not really compact, is it? That might be why I'm struggling a bit. All right, so yes, it does fit my phone, wallet, hand sanitizer, and sunglasses. It is gonna be somewhat limited in space because of the half moon shape. I do think if you got their, what is their main one? Monceau. It's obviously going to fit a little bit more because you have, you know, a little bit more space on the corners here on the side. Honestly, looking at this bag, it reminds me a lot of the Celine bags, even the current Celine Triomphe bags. I do think if given a choice between a Celine Triomphe and the Atelier Auguste, I would go with the Atelier Auguste. But then if you were to ask, you know, my choice between an Atelier Auguste and a vintage Celine box bag from the Phoebe Philo era, I would probably go with the vintage one. But that's just me personally. I really have an affinity for the Phoebe Philo Celine box bags. I mean, I did have one, which I unfortunately sold, and I don't know if it's going to be posted by now, but it will be soon. I do have a bags that I regret selling, or bag regrets video, and in that I do say I regret selling the Phoebe Philo Celine box bag. So in that sense, would I recommend going mid-range or vintage luxury? And I did do a video talking about this exact question, and I think where you land just depends on your preferences. So if you prefer a brand new bag, no scratches, pristine, at an affordable price point, definitely go with Atelier Auguste. Construction's good, leather's good. I don't think you'll be disappointed, especially if you don't mind this kind of very rectangular hardware. I do think it is a good bag. But I think if you don't mind scratches and you don't mind a little wear and tear and you want more of a luxury look, then I think the Celine box bag might be for you. I did take a quick look at the Real and Fashion File, and Celine box bags that are sort of in this price range between $500 to $700, you know, this was like 600 something, are in pretty beat up shape. Like, you're gonna have scratches on the box leather, you're gonna have scratches on the hardware. So that's gonna be, I think, your main differentiator is what you want your bag to look like new or not new. You know, for me personally, would I be buying a Atelier Auguste bag? Probably not. I'm not really into the box leather structured bag. I did sell my Celine box bag, and even though I regret it, I would not rebuy it back. That is another one of my principles. So I sold that Celine box bag for a reason, and it's because I just don't use those kinds of bags. I have a plethora of crossbody bags, and if I really wanted to use a squarish structured crossbody bag that's a little bit more formal, I do have my Sully 23. I always get that number wrong. I think it's a 23. Sully 23 in Rouge Oche sombrero leather. So that kind of fulfills my need for a structured bag. And I hardly use that as it is. Like, it's on my worst cost per wear list. So, you know, it doesn't make sense for me to buy another boxy crossbody bag. However, if you do need to fill that gap, like I said, I do think Atelier Auguste is a good option. And also, before you buy it, do check Google for promo codes. I'm pretty sure they're out there since they are so heavily gifted to influencers. Oh, and last but not least, let's just weigh this bag. So this bag weighs 1 pound, 1.8 ounces. Honestly, that's kind of a lot for a small bag. I do think this hardware adds quite a bit of weight. And then of course, box leather in general is not super lightweight, but you do have multiple pockets here. Like, I wonder why they decided to create this flat pocket. Honestly, it's really not that useful, and it adds this extra layer of leather. Yeah, this hardware is definitely, it weighs a lot. And I should also mention, sort of on the resale market, you know, before I asked Sam to see if she had any Atelier Auguste bags that she'd be willing to loan to me, I did check out eBay, possibly thinking about buying it from eBay, because I don't necessarily want to buy a brand new Atelier Auguste bag. But I mean, there's not a lot out there, and there's not a lot in the United States. So I do think if you do have an Atelier Auguste bag, you are probably able to sell it. The ones that I saw were going for maybe like the $400 range. 300 to 400 depending on the style, and of course you're spending about 600. So I mean, honestly, not a terrible return. Of course, it also depends on the condition. The ones that I saw online that were going for $400 on eBay were brand new. When influencers rave about it, I do think they actually like the bag, and it's not just because they got it for free and want to get another free bag. But yes, all right, I think that's it. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope to see you in the next one.